Hey friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. As you can tell by the title of this video and by the fact that I am sitting here and I am not walking around vlogging in my house, today is going to be a sit down video. Over the last couple of weeks I've been doing lots of daily vlogging, but I wanted to sit down and kind of share some things that are on my heart. And in this particular video we'll be talking about my top 10 ways that we save money in my home as a single income household. So I am a stay-at-home wife, newly a stay-at-home wife. And eventually I'll probably be getting some type of part-time income to help supplement my husband's work, but as of right now we are living strictly off of his income, and in the future that is a goal of ours, to simply live off of one income and to continue to practice these steps that I'll be sharing with you guys today, and just continue to live below our means, live simply, live frugally, and to be able to suffice off of one income. And I would essentially continue to just be a stay-at-home wife, which is something I absolutely love. I thrive in this role. I feel 110% fulfilled in this role. So yeah, without further ado, before we jump into it, let me go ahead and introduce myself. So my name is Kendra, because I'm sure some of you are here because you're subscribed to my channel and you love my content. So if that is you and you're here simply because you are subscribed and you love my content and you've been looking forward to this video because I've been talking about it in some vlogs, thank you for coming back and supporting my dream. I love you so much. And if this is your first time clicking on one of my videos because of the way you search, maybe we're looking for ways to save money, maybe you're a stay-at-home wife or a stay-at-home mom or a single parent and you're looking for ways to save money because your home is a single income home, then this is the video for you, and I'm so happy you're here. Please consider subscribing and hitting that red subscribe button, giving this video a thumbs up, and commenting down below and letting me know if you found me through a search or if you were already here and just wanted to click on this video. And so let's go ahead and just kind of get right into it. So I want to give a little bit of a background. I grew up in a single income household. I grew up single parent household. My mother was the only one who worked, and we had to get super creative with the ways that we saved money and made things stretch. We had things like food stamps, and my mom had WIC and like daycare assistance and things of that nature. But now that I'm an adult, and I am the adult in the house and my husband is the one who's bringing in the income for our family, I've kind of looked to some new ways to save money and to kind of cut costs in corners when it comes to the income that is outsourced in our home. So I want to get into those 10 tips with you all today. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Some of these you may have heard and then some of these you may have not, but regardless, I would love if I did not touch on one that you have heard before, so drop it in the comments down below, and that way when this video is over the other viewers can look down in the comments below and see some more and more tips. So I'm gonna give 10, but the tips can be endless if we leave those down in the comments. Y'all feel free to drop anything that I did not talk about, or maybe I talked about something and you kind of want to piggyback off of that. Let's go ahead and get into the video. My number one tip, and I think this is something that is super underrated, and that is to shop within your home. Shop with under the roof that you live and sell the items that you don't use. And I'm not talking about just things like, you know, your toaster because you went and replaced it and you bought a nicer one that you like, and maybe, you know, some old clothes that you don't wear anymore. I'm talking about get creative. You will be shocked what people will buy online. Home decor, fragrances, you know, body fragrances. Maybe it's like a brand new soap you've never used. Maybe it's books you haven't touched in forever and ever. Maybe it's pillowcases, you know, anything, bedding sets. Look around your home, shop around your home, and see the things that you don't use and that you could sell. I had an old Apple AirTag I stopped using, got rid of that. I have 2 cats. There's a cat bed actually right here, but they have another cat bed that's just off camera this way that they don't use. I'm getting ready to post that. I have a 3-piece suitcase set in there that I no longer need. I'm getting ready to post that. What else? The boys had, my cats had a cat bed, a little cat toy. It's got like a scratching post on it and like a little bell that they can play with. They played with that thing for a couple months, didn't even want to use it anymore. I sold it for $30. I'm about to post the 3-piece luggage set for like $100, and I think we paid like $160 or $150 for it, and I'm gonna post it for $100. It's completely brand new, untouched, almost hardly never used, and I don't have a use for it anymore, and I don't need to hold on to it anymore, so I'm gonna get rid of it. You can find home decor pieces, bathroom essentials, kitchen essentials is a big one. Search your kitchen for those things and those appliances that you don't use. A lot of us, you know, maybe you have like a 4-in-1 pressure cooker, maybe you have a 3-in-1 air fryer, and so it can eliminate like for example, if you own a rice cooker and you own a pressure cooker, You probably don't need the rice cooker because the pressure cooker can make rice, you know, and just different things like that. So there's ways to get creative and sell the items in your home and to bring in an extra income that way. And then it clears out the clutter in your home, and that'll make you feel better just in itself. It's just getting rid of some of the things, and then in a return you'll be able to bring in an extra income. Number 2 is one that I kind of feel like I just came up with on my own, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that's done this, and that is to create your own cookbook. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm not saying go and call a publisher and spend a bunch of money to make an actual cookbook. I mean, go to Walmart, buy yourself a little half-inch thick or 1-inch thick binder that cost you $2-3, and get you some of the little page protectors, those clear page protectors, and print off your different recipes that you find online that you enjoy. Instead of you investing in a whole cookbook, cookbooks can run you, and I wouldn't even know how much they cost because I don't have one, but the last time I seen a cookbook, I mean, they ran in upwards of $30 and $40 depending on whose cookbook you bought, or you know where you got it from, or how gourmet it is, or whatever. But I bought a binder, I bought some page protectors, and then every time I see a recipe that I like, we have a printer in our house already, I simply print off the recipe and I stick it in one of the page protectors, and I keep the binder in my kitchen up in the cabinet. And that way, whenever I want to look back on recipes, I have essentially created myself a cookbook for right at $5, $6. You can get yourself 50 of those page protectors, and as long as that recipe fits on one side page, you can fit up to 100 recipes in your book, and it literally costs you less than $5. So I think that that's an awesome tip. It's something I've done for years. Pretty much since I met my husband, I have made my own cookbook with the binder and the page protectors, and then I just print off recipes as I find them. Number 3 is to shop your kitchen before you go to the grocery store, excuse me. Now, I know that this is something that people have heard of, but how often do we practice this? How often do we go in the kitchen and say, you know what, I'm gonna thoroughly look in this kitchen and see what I have and decide what I'm going to cook for the week based on what I already have in the kitchen? Do you know the last time I did my grocery list, it saved me $50 and almost $60 to shop my kitchen first, because way in the back of my freezer I found a family size pack of chicken thighs. That right there was like 2 dinners. And then I went in my pantry, I saw that I already had green beans, I saw that I had a mushroom gravy packet, I saw that I had a meatloaf packet, I saw that I had pasta noodles, and I had some pasta sauce. So all I had to do was spend like $4 to get some ground beef, and that was a meal. It saved me so much money to go in my pantry, in my freezer, in my fridge, and shop there first. If I kind of already have an idea of what I want to eat, I'm going to shop my own kitchen first to see, okay, what ingredients for this dinner idea, what ingredients do I already have? And maybe I don't have all the ingredients for it, but while looking, I would happen to come across the fact that I had pasta sauce and I had shells, and so I knew all I had to do was go buy some ground beef, and then I had a pasta dinner right then and there. So that's my 3rd tip. Shop in your kitchen. Not only will it help you figure out meals for you to use up foods in your pantry, so it eliminates food waste, but it saves you money because you don't have to buy as many ingredients because you see what you already have, and it also helps you to not double buy. How many times have you went in the store and bought you a dozen of eggs, come home and you got an 18 count of eggs sitting in the refrigerator because you forgot that the last 2 weeks ago you bought extra eggs to stock up? Or like with my cats, I'll buy and buy and buy cat food until I realize, oh wait, I've got 3 cases of cat food. I'm good for the next almost 2 months because I've just been buying and buying and buying, and I haven't realized, okay, I still have plenty. And so that it helps with eliminating food waste. You don't double buy, and it cuts back on your grocery bill because you can build recipes based on what's in your kitchen. Now, leading up on that, point number 4 is when you go in the grocery store, you want to start with the outer rims of your grocery store. You do not want to start within the aisles of the grocery store where all the snacks and all the junk and all the non-perishables are. You want to stick to the outer rims and focus on produce, dairy, meat, you know, cheese, things of that nature. And when you go into the aisles, only go into the aisles for the essential items that you would definitely need in meal prepping. So some of those essentials you might need from the aisles of the grocery store is things like rice, beans, baking essentials, spices. You might need to go there and get water. Like I know we buy cases and cases of water every other week, and canned goods. So between those few things, you may have to go within the central areas of the grocery store. But one place to really try to stay away from it all if you can help it, and this is where you're gonna spend a lot of money, is in the frozen food section. Now frozen vegetables, I love frozen vegetables. We eat tons of frozen vegetables, and so I got my cat right here and he's just distracted me. We eat tons of frozen vegetables, and so yes, we go through the frozen food section for frozen veggies, but things like, you know, frozen breads and ice creams and frozen dinners, frozen pizzas, frozen snacks, those things get very, very costly, and then you will end up spending a lot more on your grocery bill. You will be able to knock off $50, $60 easy if you simply stay away from like the cookies and crackers, the chips, the sodas, and the frozen food section. That alone will help knock off so much off of your grocery bill. That stuff is okay in moderation, but on those weeks when you know you really need to be slim with your grocery bill, you want to stick to the outer rims and only shop within the aisles for those essential things that you need. Sorry y'all, my camera ran out of space, so if the angle's a bit different, that is why. Moving on to number 5. Number 5 is an excellent one, and I think this one will be awesome, especially for stay-at-home mamas, is to exchange services for services instead of y'all exchanging money. So like for example, you know, if you're a mom, hey, will you babysit my daughter on this weekend, and then in the future if you ever need me on a day out the week, I got you in return. And this saves money, and that way you can get some help with some things you need without actually having to like outsource funds from your house. There's been times where I've had people do something for me, and then in return I would babysit for them, or you know, whatever the situation may be. You have a talent and someone else has a talent, and so y'all can exchange a service or a talent with each other instead of saying I will charge you this much for this service or whatever. There's been times where I've come and I've helped people clean their home. Maybe they're trying to declutter their kids' laundry, or maybe they're trying to switch over the 0 to 3 months to the 3 to 6 months clothing, or what have you. And so I will come and do that for them, and then in exchange they'll come over one day and we'll sit and have a little cleaning party at my house. So there's ways to kind of get things done, and like I said, this is especially great for stay-at-home moms who just need a couple of hours and want to drop their kids off with a friend or family member or someone, and then they can exchange services with that person. Hey, you know, thank you for watching my daughter. Next weekend, you know, I'll keep your daughter, I'll keep your son, or what have you. All right, number 6 is going to be to make your own cleaners and or use one cleaner for multiple things in your home. Now, I am not a fan of homemade cleaner. That is just me. I'm not a fan of like the vinegar smell. Lots of people say you can't smell the vinegar if you put essential oils in it. It doesn't necessarily work for me, my husband, in my home. Now, one thing I will say is one way I have found to save money is when I buy, like, we love the Method brand cleaner. So one thing I will say is, like, we'll buy a bottle of Method antibac, and it doesn't have to be bathroom cleaner. It can just be the Method antibacterial cleaner, or just the Method multi-surface spray, and I'm gonna use that spray on my coffee table, on my dining table. I'm gonna use it in my kitchen, on my countertops. I'm gonna use it in my bathroom, on my countertops. If I need to spray down my toilet, if I need to spray down the rim of my bathtub, or whatever it may be, I'm gonna use that all over my house. It's gonna cost me about $4, and it's useful all throughout my house. And see, I live in a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, so it'll last a lot longer in my home too. Now, when you get into talking about you have a house, then yeah, you might need to look into making your own cleaners, or even just buying like 2 bottles of all-purpose cleaner, and that stretching you throughout like the month, because I know a bottle of cleaner will last me a month. So instead of me buying 2 different types of cleaner for my kitchen, and then buying a toilet cleaner, a towel and tub cleaner, and then a countertop cleaner for my bathroom, you're talking $25 and $30 for all these different cleaners, when in reality they all do the same thing. The only time you really need a different cleaner is like to get the hard water or the soap scum off of your bathtub, and then like a Windex obviously to clean like mirrors and windows. But other than that, all those surface cleaners, in my opinion, they all work the same. So that's my next biggest tip, is we don't buy a million different fancy cleaners. We literally buy 1, maybe 2 different types of cleaners, and we use those cleaners all throughout the house. Number 7, we do not have to spend long on: get rid of cable. I find it extremely hard to believe that people are still paying over $100 for this whole cable and internet bundle mess. You can get yourself some Netflix for about $15. They might have just went up. I think I got an email saying they were going up to like $19.99 or something crazy like that. And honey, you can get Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN for $15.99, $14.99 or $15.99, something like that. And then like my husband's not big into sports, so we don't even utilize our ESPN, but I know a lot of husbands love sports. So y'all can have your Disney Plus and your Hulu, and then your husband, they still have access to their sports. It literally costs $16. Internet's probably gonna run you 50 to 70 bucks, and for less than $100 you have all the streaming you need. And then now with these smart TVs, you know, you do your YouTube, and then on top of that, if you have the internet package, like with Spectrum, we have internet with Spectrum, we have access to like the ABC streaming app, the Food Network streaming app, like all the streaming apps you would ever watch on live cable TV, you can access the same shows on the streaming apps on the smart TV for free because we have internet. So get rid of your cable. All right, number 8 is going to be to use your crock pot. This is something I need to work on. I do not use my crock pot as often as I should. I have 2 main reasons why I suggest you use a crock pot. Number 1, it makes batch meals. Usually a crock pot, a normal size crock pot, is going to feed 8 people, if not more. Especially if you're making things like soups and chilies and pastas, it's going to feed 2 and 3 people 2 and 3 times each, because you can make so much in a crock pot. I know my crock pot holds like 8 to 10 servings, and it's just me and my husband. So I can make a crock pot chili and then it'll last us all week. Or I can make crock pot lasagna or crock pot spaghetti. Again, it's gonna last us 3-4 days. And then another reason why I love using a crock pot too is because usually it's cheap to buy the ingredients. I have potato soup on the menu for our dinner plan this coming week. If not this coming week, the week after that. And all I need is like a frozen bag of potatoes, cream of chicken, 1 block of cream cheese, and an onion. Like, it's so easy. Oh, and like some cheddar cheese. So for all these ingredients are going to run me about $10, and then the potato soup is going to last me all week. So for $10, me and my husband are going to get technically 3 meals each, because we'll have a bowl of soup for dinner, and then my husband will take some for lunch the next day. I'll eat some for lunch the next day, and then we'll probably have it for dinner again. If not, then we'll just have it for like lunch another night out. So for $10, I'm gonna get at least 6 servings off of this batch of potato soup I'm gonna make in the crock pot. So usually your crock pot saves you so much money, especially when you're in a household that does not have kids, or maybe you have 1 kid, or maybe you have a child but they're young and they're not eating table food yet. Crock pot is the way to go. It will save you so much money, especially when you find a recipe that you love and you could eat on it all week long. The number 9 tip is to stick to a budget. Give every single dollar that comes to your home, give it a name. Every single dollar, whether it's fun money, whether it's food money, whether it's eat out money, the bills, include gas and groceries, those are bills. I don't see how people work a budget and don't put a grocery allowance and a gas allowance for the week or for the next 2 weeks on there. Those are bills. Those are things that we need. Those are necessities for our livelihood, just like your light bill and just like your mortgage or your rent. Groceries and gas are bills. Include those on your budget. And then give every dollar a name. When you live in a single income household, you do not have time to be worried about if you have enough or if you've allotted enough money for X, Y, and Z. When you give everything when you give every dollar a name and you write out all the bills that you have for that month or for that pay period, and you put a dollar amount, you plug a dollar amount into each one of those things, that shows you, it's written out proof that everything you need to take care of is covered, down to gas, groceries, how many Starbucks trips you make, how many times your husband wants to stop at the 7-Eleven and get a big gulp. Everything gets a name. We call it pocket money, fun money. That's just like free money that we have in our pocket. If I want to swing through Starbucks, or if he wants to go get a soda, or he wants to go grab a burger, or if he wants to stop for breakfast before work in the morning, then that's like our fun money. That's our money to do with what we will, our little allowance for that pay period, if you will. But give every single dollar that comes in that week, give it a name. Even if, you know, in your savings account too, if you're putting money away for your savings account, or you're putting money away for a trip, you need to assign money to that category and put it away. That way there's no money just kind of left out in the abyss, and then you're wondering why no bill or whatever didn't get met. Because as you know, in a single income household, you can't afford to be like mismanaging, you know, your money. Every single dollar that comes in your home, it needs a name. It needs a place to go in your budget. All right, so my 10th and my final tip is to make as many things as possible from home, from scratch. It's cheaper that way. Some things, there is an investment on the front end, but over time you are saving money. Now the one thing I can say for sure where we save a lot of money is I brew our own sweet tea at home. You can buy a box of family size tea bags, 24 count, at Walmart for less than $2, and that makes 12 gallons of tea. Because for every gallon I put 2 family size bags in it, and I let that steep on my stove for about an hour and a half, and then I let the bags steep in the water. I drain the bags, and then I put my sugar right in the tea, and you obviously sweeten it to your liking. And water is obviously free if you're going to use water out the tap. That's what I do, because when you steam it on the stove, it sanitizes it and purifies it and all that. But if you want to buy gallon water, then you got to take into consideration you're adding an extra cost for every gallon of water you make. But if one box of tea bags makes 12 gallons, I'm saving $12 by just using water on my faucet. But you know, either way you want to take that. So making your own tea will save you a lot of money. I know a lot of people love sweet tea. I, fun fact, can't stand sweet tea, but I make it because my husband loves it, so I brew it for him, and he goes through sweet tea very, very, very fast. So we could not afford to be buying gallons and gallons of sweet tea anyway, when I could just brew it at home, and I can make 12 gallons for less than $2. It's kind of a no-brainer. The other thing that you could do to save money is to make your own bread. Now, this whole make your own bread has been a trend on like TikTok and YouTube and Instagram for a very long time. Now, there are 2 options. You can take the route that you've been seeing go viral all over the social media world, and that is to like get a mason jar or like a glass jar with a lid and like let your own starter, you know, kind of what develop or process or whatever. When you do your flour and your water, you mix it up, you kind of let that just ferment over time, and then you use some of that to make your own sourdough bread, and you're kneading your own dough, and then you need a Dutch oven, and you need parchment paper, and it's a whole process. So you can certainly look into that. The other option with making your own bread at home is to buy a bread maker, and it is an investment up front. A bread maker is probably going to cost you an upwards of $100, sometimes more, for nicer bread makers. But over time, because right now, like a loaf of bread, and I'm not talking about the store brand bread, I'm talking about like good quality sliced bread. Like, we really like the Martin's brand, we like the Nature's Own brand, we like the Sara Lee Artisano brand, and those can cost $3 and $4 a loaf. So if we can just get a bread maker and make our own bread, whether it be sourdough, whether it be white or wheat, whatever kind of bread, multigrain, it's worth it in the end because you save so much money in the long haul. So those are 2 things. Well, one I am currently doing, which is making my own tea, and then eventually we want to get to a place where we are making our own bread, because it's going to save so much money, whether we take the homemade sourdough route or whether we take the bread maker route. Some other things you can grow right at home, and I live in a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. We can grow strawberries here in my home. We can grow herbs. We can grow spices and things like that. So the possibilities are endless if you just look into the things that you can grow. When you buy a bulb of green onion, stick it in a little jar of water and it will continue to grow and grow and grow, and you can spend like $1 on green onion and never have to spend $1 on green onion ever again. Especially if you have a little bit of space in your yard, you can plant it and then the green onion will just grow and grow and grow. So there's all kinds of things you can do. You can take like pineapple or the crown of the pineapple and stick it down in the ground and give that time to root and grow, and you can grow your own pine. There are so many things you can do and grow as much of the thing, grow and make and create as many of the things from your home from scratch as you can. It will save you money in the long run. All right, y'all, so those are my top 10 money saving tips. Like I said, some of them you may have heard before, some you may have not. So if there is one that you feel like I missed, or if you feel like you want to piggyback off of one of the tips that I spoke on, you can most certainly leave it down in the comments below. And if you have a tip that I did not talk about and you think it would be helpful, then please leave that down there in the comments below too, because people come to these videos, they read through the comments, and it's helpful for all of us, okay? So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. That is it for today. I wanted to just sit down and share some of my biggest tips, something a little bit different from the daily vlogging. We'll definitely be getting back to that here soon. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Hit the red subscribe button if you are new. I have huge goals for YouTube and I would love, love, love to grow the community here. Subscribe if you're new. Comment down below and I will catch you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out to watch. Bye.
When our eyes met, I never knew that I could feel this way.